My name's Terry Macy. I am 58 years old. Um, I own the store with my wife, Warm Springs Market, with my wife Diana. We've owned it since 2010. I'm a tribal member here, Wasco descent, and my family is my grandpa and grandma owned the store years ago, and then my uncle, and then my dad, and um, in Maria, and we've owned it since 2010. Well, I'm not sure what the salary. I'd have to do the math. We pay ourselves $23 an hour, but so we each get a paycheck at that rate. Well, I got an education in photography and film and video production, and I did that up until about 2014. And then I started working for my parents at the store, and so that's what I got my education in. But I think business and accounting and marketing, all those kind of things would probably be helpful in the type of business we have, like to have a grocery store or a store that like any store where you have to deal with customer service and that kind of thing.
Why did you choose this job?
Well, I just decided that I wanted to try it working with my parents, and I just kind of fell into it in a lot of ways. I always enjoyed it, and I always thought about it in the years past, and I went on and did film and video type work, and then I just came back to it and enjoyed it, so I stayed with it.
Nice.
Well, we're business owners, so our job is to provide a service or a place for people to shop and get stuff they need. A typical day is coming in and making sure everybody's at work and doing banking business. We pretty much do banking stuff every day. But also there's a lot of stuff behind scenes where the stuff behind in the office that we have to do in terms of dealing with vendors or dealing with accounting or dealing with our taxes. A lot of this, that's generally what I end up dealing with. But oftentimes we end up having to help up front or help in the office or help wherever. When you own a business, you kind of got to be able to do all aspects of the business. Well, some of the skills, well, one of the first ones, whether we're the owners or not, because of the type of business we have where we deal with customers, is you have to have customer skills with customer service, because you're interacting with people all the time, trying to help them at the register or in the office, or just if they're looking for something. So dealing and working with customers is probably the first main one. And there's also customers, most all your customers are great, but every now and then someone's having a bad day. So you got to learn how to work with customers to try to get them what they need and help them the best you can. I would consider that a hard skill, because it takes, not everybody's can do customer service, some people would rather have a job where they're somewhere else, tucked away maybe, where they don't have to interact with people so much. So owning a grocery store business, customer service is probably number one. After that is dealing with employees and personnel. I'm just trying to keep them trained and keep them motivated to keep working and get them to work on time and that kind of thing. The harder skills would probably be dealing with stuff behind the scenes, where you have to deal with regulations with the state or the government, and accounting and taxes and that kind of stuff. I think my favorite part is probably just getting products into the store or stuff for resale, especially if it's new stuff, or making sure it's there, and dealing with customers. I really enjoy interacting with customers. So that's probably the two favorite things about it. The least favorite would be dealing with back office bookkeeping and regulatory things we have to do to get certain licenses and keep on top of being having our licenses and regulations in line. I would get experience working in the environment, a retail environment like a grocery store or some other retail environment. I would say math skills, communication skills, interpersonal skills are important, and marketing skills are probably important too. Well, as far as I know, my grandpa, I think, started. He bought it in 1941 from somebody with the last name Massey, not Macy per se, but Massey, and that's about since it's been in our family. I think originally the original building, which was smaller than what it is today, was a wood structure that they actually moved from down by the river. Like they moved the whole building at some point, a long time ago. Well, for us, I would say it's probably just trying to maintain. It may not seem like marketing so much, but just trying to maintain a product level that's available to people, and we don't really use the internet. It's mostly word of mouth. We're not right on the highway, so we don't necessarily get a lot of traffic that's coming by from Highway 26, unless they happen to know we're there or they see us, but we're not right on the highway, so we don't get a lot of traffic. We tried billboards, but that didn't really seem to make a whole lot of difference. So, I mean, mainly it's public service or customer service. That is our marketing strategy. Some of the main things I'm interested in is their customer service, their ability to work with customers, and also their math skills to a certain degree. I mean, it's not super hard math, but being able to just count change back to people properly is important, and to try to be able to troubleshoot math situations if there's something that comes up at the register. If somebody gives you too much change or too much money, and figuring out the right change and all that kind of thing. So that type of basic math skills is important. Well, I'm not sure how much it's changed other than maybe some additional services. It's been a grocery store forever, and and it's had beading supplies there a lot. We've tried to add some money services, which are in the back office where people can pay bills and use Western Union, that kind of thing. But generally, it hasn't changed a lot. Well, the easiest way to deal with a difficult situation is kind of just, you got to commit some time and effort into it. Like recently, we needed to replace our heating and cooling systems because they had been there for years, and it's an expensive fix to buy new equipment like that, and so we didn't want to, but we ended up having to get a loan to be able to buy the new equipment. So you kind of just got to take a risk, and when you know you need it, you just got to approach it and do it. Well, the process for us is really just advertising that we need somebody. Like often we'll, if someone quits, and we need to hire a position, we may put a sign out on the bulletin board just when you walk in the store. A lot of times we'll just, people come in for applications all the time, so we'll tell them to fill out an application, we'll keep it on file, and if something comes up, we'll reach out to people. But oftentimes, it happens where we have really old applications, so we need to get some more people to come in and fill out applications if they're interested. And we'll put it on just a little thing on Facebook, and we'll end up getting people to come in, fill out an application, and then we'll go, interview people and might pick somebody. We don't do any particular type of background checks other than there's an I-9 form, which is kind of a citizen background check. But we don't do any police or that type of background checks on people. Usually we know, just because we're a small community, and so kind of between ourselves and our employees, we kind of know, a little bit about people's lives, and if we seem to think it's an issue, we might not hire them, but we don't specifically do background checks. Yes, it does feel very rewarding being the only store in Warm Springs. And it also feels like we need to be really conscious of our business and how we serve the community, because we are the only store other than the gas station store. So we try to be real careful about our pricing as best we can, and just trying to provide as much as we can for the community, stuff they want and need.
What is the process of getting tribal artwork in there?
Well, like most of the tribal art would probably be beadwork. We do have a museum in the back, and that stuff's not for sale. That's just stuff that, since my grandpa had the store, a lot of it came from him trading people for different things, whether it would be groceries or some other type of trade. And then my uncle Jimmy did a little bit of that, and so did my dad. And there's been a few things I've done and put that stuff in the museum. But otherwise, the other stuff we have is just beadwork, local beadwork that people do. That's generally the types of artwork that we have there. And people just come in and ask if we're interested in buying anything, and it just depends on how much we have in there at the moment. But well, unfortunately, we do kind of somewhat regularly get break-ins, and usually it's just people either kind of thrill seeking maybe, or they break in and they take things that it doesn't amount to a whole lot in value. They do more damage. It costs more just to fix the damage they did do by breaking in compared to what they steal. And so like the front doors used to be 2 glass panes on each door. Well, now it's wood on the bottom, and I just left it that way. And then there's wood, we haven't fixed it yet, on one of the top panes because we got broken into. I thought maybe people wouldn't jump over that high, but they did. And so I think we're going to end up getting some kind of metal or wire type. We're going to replace the glass but get something else, bars or something. And then someone broke in one of the front windows, not the doors, but the big front area. And so now there's a board up there for that. So, I mean, we really don't want to, but we're starting to feel like we're going to have to do something to deter, which could mean putting up bars or something, just because don't want to go through the hassle of having to repair.